So back in October, I said I'd do an update about Poland's parliamentary elections, especially the results. While I am doing this video kind of late, I think now, after a few months, we can actually see not just the results, but how those results change things, if they change anything. And if you're anything like me, you're probably a little bit sick of reading about how Labour screwed up in the UK elections recently, as well as anything to do with US politics. First, some basics. While I was hoping for big changes, the Conservative ruling party, PIS, Law and Justice, still has a majority of seats in the Sejm. But at least I didn't gain any seats. But PIS now has a right-wing challenger. Far-right Nationalist Party Confederacja has gained seats in the Sejm. While I think this is kind of scary, it should be interesting to see how these two parties deal with and interact with each other, especially after the continuing disaster of nationalists ruling Polish Independence Day. Plus, the left-wing coalition of Razem, Wiosna, and SLD, the Democratic Left Alliance, gained 49 seats in the Sejm, which I'm really happy about. However, the Senate has also changed, and this is interesting. KO, the party that is a little more centrist than PIS, and at least is fairly pro-European Union, has gained some seats. So, what were PIS's first moves post-election? Announce more money for children under 500 plus, more money for pensions, or to raise the minimum wage? All campaign promises of theirs. Finally deal with the disaster of NFZ, the Polish healthcare system, more money for public school teachers? Nah. Their first move out the gate, ban sex ed in public schools. Because, according to their twisted logic, sex ed doesn't teach people to use condoms, it teaches them pedophilia. If you've been watching my videos, you know exactly how I feel about the ruling party in regards to gay rights and sex ed. And luckily there were protests and backlashes against this move. And I do hope that Lewica makes good on its promise to make the Catholic Church less influential in government. Before you start commenting about how Catholicism is just part of Polish culture and has to be taught in public schools, I'd love to hear your thoughts about why Polish Jewish history isn't given the same consideration. Unless I missed it and Judaism is taught in public schools here. Plus, I'm still waiting for Eastern Orthodox to be included in public schools for the Ukrainian students. Finally, Poland is dragging its feet about meeting targets to reduce CO2 under the European Green Deal. Anyone who lives in Poland knows that there's a number of cities here with absolutely terrible air quality. That's why I was wearing this very fashionable post-apocalyptic mask in the beginning of the video. Plus, like with the Syrian refugee issue, Hungary and Czech Republic are following Poland's bad example. So, in fairness, I do think it's the responsibility of wealthier Western European countries to help Central and Eastern Europe make the transition away from coal. But I also think that PIS is pretty beholden to votes from coal miners, like this decision to open a new coal mine in Poland. For the biggest source of pollution here is heating, which is a much harder problem to deal with. Not only does Poland have to build more power plants that aren't coal, this country really needs to address the out-of-date heating systems that many homes and apartment buildings have, which will involve lots and lots of small-scale changes across the country. Also, I was wrong in my last video about politics not hurting Polish author Olga Tokarczuk. State-funded and conservative TV station TVP initially wasn't going to broadcast her acceptance speech for the Nobel Prize. I'm sure it was because Polish authors win the Nobel all the time and this is no big deal. Not that Tokarczuk's an outspoken feminist in a heavily Catholic country. But it did end on a good note. After some protests, TVP relented and broadcast her acceptance speech. I've linked to the full text below. If you haven't checked any of her books out, I really recommend you do so. So, special thanks to Sausage Lover 666 for suggesting the idea for this video. If you're watching, thank you. And for everyone else, maybe leave a comment. I love comments. Let me know if there's any other topics that you want to see me do on this channel. Last, here's a nice meme that one of my students shared with me on the birthday of a Lewica politician. Till next time.